Welcome, folks, and today we have another wonderful Get Woke, Go Broke story as New York loses 1 trillion in Wall Street businesses as firms flee the city from the New York Post. It's always amazing to see how all of these woke cities and woke policies just absolutely burn and melt everything around them because New York has been bleeding money ever since they went full crazy mode during the lockdowns and made all the rich people leave. I remember Andrew Cuomo begging on television, hey, come back, hey, I'll cook you dinner, blah blah blah. I mean, making himself look like a fool, begging these people to come back. And ever since then, ever since COVID, ever since the defund the police, cops are quitting, businesses are leaving, and now all of these places are in an absolute downward spiral with nothing to catch them and no bottom anywhere near that they can see so far, as they're just going to continue to go down this path of just absolute despair and abysmal future to look forward to. So we got to jump into this because I saw that number and I'm like, man, it sucks for all the people there, but hey, I don't know what to tell you. If you're in a blue area, at this point, they don't get it, so all you can do is simply get out. So a giant sucking sound is coming out of Wall Street, and it's siphoning staggering sums of money out of the Big Apple while handing businesses to Florida and other states farther south. Nearly 160 Wall Street firms have moved their headquarters out of New York since the end of 2019, taking nearly 1 trillion. Yes, that's trillion with a T in assets under management with them, according to data from 17,000 companies compiled by Bloomberg. Looking to dodge rampant crime, stiff taxes, and an increasing exorbitant cost of living, 158 fed-up financial firms representing a whopping $993 billion in assets have packed up and left the Big Apple, taking thousands of high-paid employees with them, the data shows. I mean, New York, in my opinion, in my lifetime, is never going to recover from this. All of these places are going to go the way of Detroit. All of them. All of them are losing the central industries that keep the city going. And just like Detroit, once that goes, once the real bread and butter of the city goes, everything starts to dwindle around it. And there's just absolutely no coming back from something like that. Like, geez. Icahn Capital Management, headed by billionaire corporate raider Carl Icahn, is among the most prominent firms to decamp to the Sunshine State. In August 2020, the firm ditched its posh Manhattan digs atop Fifth Avenue's General Motors building in favor of a 14-story office complex in a Miami suburb. Icahn's firm, which manages $22 billion in assets, now conducts business less than a mile away from his mansion in Indian Creek Village. Meanwhile, hedge fund tycoon Paul Singer's Elliott Management, which commandeers a total of $59 billion after shaking up investment targets including AT&T, Twitter, and government of Argentina, moved its headquarters from Midtown Manhattan to West Palm Beach, Florida in October 2020. See, everybody's getting out of the Big Apple. Everyone's going to the Sunshine State. It's getting really crowded there, though. Places there, Arizona, Texas. I mean, a lot of home prices have really skyrocketed. 1 year later, closely watched tech stock guru Cathie Wood, famous for her bold windfall bet on Elon Musk car maker Tesla, moved her firm ARK Investment Management and its $25 billion worth of assets to St. Petersburg, Florida. In all, 56 of the New York firms have decamped to Florida, while most of the remaining also headed to warmer states such as Texas and the Carolinas, according to the report. New York isn't the only major loser, with California also having lost $1 trillion in financial assets under management to Florida, Texas, and other low-cost states. And it's never, ever going to come back in our lifetime. I mean, California has been on like a 50-year trend up. And now, I mean, there is no way this trend downward is going to stop anytime soon. It won't stop until it hits the bottom, which at that point, then it will start to come back around. But that's going to be decades. Let's see. Other major losers to Florida include Chicago, which lost billionaire Ken Griffin's giant hedge fund Citadel to Miami last year. The mass migration threatens a crippling economic blow. Last year, Wall Street accounted for 16% of all the economic activity in the city. Wow. And 7.3% of the economic activity statewide. I mean, just think about that. That's, 7.3, I don't know, that's like 1/14th or something like that of your whole state just from basically all this. But I mean, hey, that's how much big money speaks. The latter figure is the highest in the nation by far, towering above the national average of just 1.7%, according to the October report by New York State Comptroller Thomas D. Napoli. Likewise, the exodus has grave tax implications for the city and state. Last year, financial firms paid $5.4 billion in New York taxes and accounted for nearly a quarter of all personal income tax collections, according to the report. I mean, New York has debts and bills they are just not going to be able to pay. Just like California, just like Oregon, just like all these places. Tax revenue from the industry this year is headed for a significant decline, the report warned. It also noted that New York's share of financial industry jobs was 17.6% in 2022, down by nearly half from a third in 1990, and noted that jobs have shifted to lower cost regions. High-profile examples include Goldman Sachs, which has been heavily investing in Dallas, where the cost of living is about 40% cheaper than it is in New York. Goldman Sachs is in the process of erecting a 3-building campus just outside downtown Dallas, according to documents filed with Dallas City Plan Commission obtained by the Dallas Morning News. The nearly 500,815,000 square foot development was made possible with the $18 million in tax breaks the city of Dallas granted the Wall Street Bank last July in exchange for bringing as many as 5,000 jobs into the city. When the campus opens in 2027, the staffers will enjoy underground parking, a first-floor retail space, a 1.5-acre urban park, a hotel, and residential towers, the filing showed. Whew, I mean, Texas is just exploding. And quite honestly, everything that I've seen points to Texas being basically the state, like the new California, and almost both, like the new California and New York combined. Because you've got major businesses and major banks and financial firms all coalescing into Texas. It's really, really crazy. And I mean, at this point, Texas is probably going to be growing solid for 30 years, something like that at this point. That's just kind of a rough guess, 20, 30 years. But all these other places, oh man, they are just going down the shitter. A spokesperson for Goldman said the bank has no plans to abandon its downtown Manhattan headquarters at 200 West Street. Mammoth money manager Alliance Bernstein moved its headquarters from New York to Nashville in May 2022, taking a staggering $685 billion in managed assets with it. In the process, the mega firm also relocated 1,000 jobs in a shift that Bloomberg reported at the time would save the global asset management firm $80 million a year. I mean, shit, that's a good move anyway. The Nashville move was driven by hard numbers that show the massive savings that can come with an exit from New York. According to Statista, companies spent a median of $94 per square foot for corporate space in Manhattan, while offices in Nashville run for a median of $31 per square foot. I mean, that's a third. Like, why wouldn't you move? Why wouldn't you move? You'd be stupid not to. Altogether, the cost of living in Music City is nearly 42% cheaper in Nashville than it is in New York City, according to Salary. Representatives for the company did not immediately respond to the Post's request for comment. Charles Schwab, which oversees more than $7 trillion in assets, officially redesignated its headquarters from San Francisco to Westlake, Texas, outside of Dallas, after it acquired TD Ameritrade in 2020. And everything is leaving San Francisco. I've seen properties. There's a mall complex. They're one of the biggest hotels in the downtown area. Literally, they're just walking away from the properties. They're like, nope, we can't do it. We can't pay the bills. We can't turn a profit. We can't keep up. So literally, they are just cutting their losses and letting them take it back. And the only reason you as a business are going to do that is if you have absolutely given up any hope. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do. So if you're doing that, I mean, you're just giving up. There's no hope, and there isn't. There's absolutely no hope for these places unless all these woke psychopaths get out. The 1.1 million square foot campus was over 3 years and $100 million in the making, with amenities that include a cafe, training center, multiple collaboration spaces, employee services, and more, according to the investment firm's website. Wells Fargo, which has assets under management totaling $603 billion, is also spending 9 figures to develop an 850,000 square foot North Texas hub. I mean, everything's going to Texas, and everything's going around Dallas and Houston. After receiving more than $30 million in tax breaks, Wells Fargo is spending $500 million to construct 2 buildings and a 4,000 space garage that will play host to over 3,000 workers by the end of 2026. And New York is, oh man, New York is going to go back to, I mean, being crime ridden, I mean, they've got jobs now just to combat the giant rats. They have a giant rat problem in New York City that they have specific jobs for now, just to fight the rats. Not to mention, because they don't have enough people to fight the criminals, because they don't want to, because no one's looking out for them. They don't have enough people. They don't have enough people to do anything. Man, the Big Apple is just a thing of the past anymore. Now it is the rotten apple. The Big Apple has officially become the rotten apple, folks. All thanks to the wokesters of today. So with that said, hey, don't let them get you down. I'll try to bring some new stuff as soon as I can. If you like the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. I appreciate the support. Take care of your friends and families, and I'll see you next time.